Great. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm Andrew Carruthers. I'm here from Spark Ventures, and we have set up a subsidiary called Spark Impact, which has been given the brief to manage the biomedical fund in the Northwest. We're part of the Spark Ventures group, which manages 6 funds, and we focus on early stage, right in the undergrowth, startups, and IP-rich, intellectual property-rich companies in both technology and life sciences, but it's the life sciences that I'm looking at tonight. Currently, we're doing most of our healthcare portfolio through 3 funds, one in the Midlands, the Lachesis Fund, and 2 in Oxford. The great thing in those businesses is that we tend to manage to put a little bit of money to work and leverage a lot more other people's money to push it over the line. So in the case of Lachesis, 20 spin-out companies have only taken £6.8 million, and we've managed to raise another 25. In Oxford, we've even done better than that. We've got 9.2 million to work and 185 million raised. So our job is to find the hot properties that the farmers are useless at finding themselves, the big pharma companies. So we've got offices in London, and we're one of the interlopers. We've just moved into Liverpool, the Science Park area, very excited to be here. So let me talk a little bit about the biomedical fund. £25 million fund for companies in or prepared to relocate to the Northwest, as with all the other funds. 40% of the fund's going to be in the Merseyside area, as Andy Leach said earlier. Now, what's possibly slightly different is that we intend to touch a lot of companies in this fund. 54 is the anticipated level. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to start with very small injections of capital. And we're pretty well ready to do that now. It could be a 6-week process to get your hands on that sort of money. Who are we? Penny Atridge. I'm actually an interloper because my background is more information technology than it is biotech. The real key player here is Penny Atridge and Jonathan G, but we're building up our team fast, and there'll be another 2 hires coming along soon. But Penny is a PhD scientist. Perhaps most interesting for entrepreneurs is that she's actually made money herself out of her own inventions. So she's not just talking the talk, she's walked the walk and done so very successfully. She now is a lecturer on technology spin-outs, generally very, very pragmatic, gets things done. Jonathan G, former CEO of Imperial Innovations, which has just raised another £140 million to do this kind of thing. So very serious experience in the team. I've been at it for 15 years. I'm really here to do the fund oversight piece. So, investment areas. We want to do, as I said earlier, the undergrowth, the startup, early stage, but we are doing a few development capital ones as well. Our mantra is we want simple solutions addressing big markets. We're going to balance the portfolio across a number of subsectors. Drug discovery is in there, even though it's a small fund. Diagnostics, medical devices, service companies, manufacturing and telemedicine. The last 3 there should be slightly less capital intensive. The investment sizes in the startups arena, as I said earlier, we're going to be doing initial investments of between £50,000 and £250,000, usually as a sole investor. But we will be able to go the distance with the successful ones quite a lot further, invest another 250 to 1.25 million. For existing companies who are already SMEs active in the market, we've got a larger category of an initial investment of 750k and able to go another 750k into those. So we were asked about what kind of investment instruments we would use. It's going to be for the startup ones, a very simple template. It's going to be a convertible loan with a single share in a separate voting class, which gives us entitlement to sit on the board, consent rights, veto rights. And then the loans will convert later into equity on a preordained formula once we know what the company's worth. Just avoids us having lots of arguments about what the value of the company is when we really don't know. So that's how that works. The investment staging is a very sort of strict set of gates of go, no-go decisions. The first 50k is really to establish whether there's some real IP there, whether we can protect it, and scope what the market opportunity might be. If that's good to go, we go on to the next stage, where you might get another 200k. These sizes can vary slightly, but this is just a rule of thumb. Again, expect probably still to be the sole investor at that point. And we'll have some milestones that you've got to reach, and if you get past that, we go on to the next stage, which could be anything up to another £1.25 million. But by that stage, we want you to be able to raise money from other investors alongside us. So our key goal is to make sure you get your company right in the sweet spot, so that everybody wants a piece of it. We've done that before, as I was showing you earlier, and we want to do it again. Existing SMEs will have, as I said, a slightly different route. Okay, so what are the things we look for in entrepreneurs? Clarity. We want you to be clear about what your market is, what the problem is you can solve, and who's going to pay for it. Very simple. If you don't know the answers to those, we won't be able to help you. Simplicity. Normally, the best ideas are simple ones. They're not so complicated to explain that nobody can understand it. Realism. This is another thing that we've learned through bitter experience ourselves. It takes a lot longer than anyone ever anticipates. So how long does it take to build your business? And therefore, how much funding do you really need? And do you know what your product is actually going to look like? Passion. And we were hearing a little bit about this earlier. You've got to have people who are passionate about what they are doing with their business, going to be committed to a successful business. We like you to work with economy. We don't want to fund a lifestyle, so it's not company cars and flash offices. It's about delivering outputs. We want people who listen to advice. So those are the key things. And I've said, what are entrepreneurs supposed to look for? That's what we look for in our entrepreneurs. The process is pretty simple. We're trying to streamline it as much as possible. Complete the application. Speak to Louise. Here's Louise. She's worth speaking to. She's blonde, blue-eyed, very chatty. Or an investment director. Have an initial meeting. We go through an investment committee process. Then, as I said, we'll have some pretty standard legals for the smaller scale investments. And then you're off to races. Easy. And that's it. Talk to me afterwards.
Thank you very much.